So basically, welcome to the Michelle Francis YouTube channel, everybody. It's about 3:30 in the morning. So basically, the police are blaming me. The white racist police officers are blaming the system and the NHS. They've been blaming me for the death of my white stepmother, and basically, and the church. The churches, they're trying to kill me. Basically, they've been trying to kill me, and there's no doubt about it. They've been definitely trying to kill me to avenge the death of my white stepmother. Now, clearly, I had nothing to do with it. To talk about unfair is not even the word. It's absolutely preposterous and a complete injustice. But they know I didn't have anything to do with it, the white power structure. But they're basically avenging me because they're saying it's because of me why my stepmother died. So even though I had nothing to do with it and I never incited anybody to kill her, they don't care about that. They're saying she died because of me. Now, in my opinion, she deserved to die. She deserved to die because the things that she was involved with and she participated in, or she was complacent in, was actually the worst possible crimes against humanity ever in history. And the thing about it was not about me. Them running this narrative about Asian and Hindu and Muslim and hate is a lie. They're not telling the truth. This whole thing never started because of me. Michael Howard is a liar because he keeps telling people, he keeps sending subliminal messages. Oh, you started it. I didn't start nothing. I was a fucking child. I was a baby. And I was stolen from my mother. And it wasn't my dad, because they're blaming, oh, it was the black man that started it. It's the black man basically that did this and he was doing that. In actual fact, it's true that he sold out. He sold my mum out, basically, and they gave him the system. It was racism. They didn't like my stepmom, my real mother, because she wasn't working. She was a single mother, and she had 5 children under the age of 5 years old. And she wasn't married, and she never worked, and she had 4 different baby fathers back in the 60s and the 70s. And she had a temper. I take after my mom. I'm very placid. My mom is very placid, you know. My real mom I'm talking about. But when she loses her temper, when she's provoked and she loses her temper, she's really can be aggressive. And she's got a serious right hook. She's got a very famous right hook. And coincidentally, I was the one that take after mommy. I was the one that take after mommy. I was basically a little replica of my mom. I was just born a replica of my mom. You know, like, children are so often born, we don't realize till we have children of our own, and we realize, wait a minute, you're just like your dad, or you're just like me. Now, my first daughter has got a temper like me. She's very placid, but she's got a temper when she loses her temper. Like me and my mum. She takes after her grandmother and me. And the other one, my second daughter, she takes after her dad. She's just exactly like her dad. Everything is dead stamp. She not only looks like him, but she behaves like him. She's got his ways, his expressions, his temperament. She's just like her dad. And it's quite strange, really. So that's why they didn't like me, because I was the replica of my mom. I was a mini mummy, just like my mom. and everything like my mom. I just came out just behaving and had the attitude and the confidence and the just like my mom, and that's why they picked on me, because they didn't like my mom, and that's why we were taken away from my mom. To spite me, the authorities were institutionally racist, and they wanted to spite my mother, because when they interrogate her, why are you coming to us for housing and money and rare? So they insulting her, and they ganging up on her. So she turned around and lose her temper and thumped them down. That's what happened. So when she thumped them down, they took away her kids. They set up my dad to take away the kids from her and never give her back her kids ever again. And also because they interrogate her, why did you give away your youngest baby, Stephanie, and you're fighting for Yvonne and Michelle? And why did you sleep with your uncle? Are you a prostitute? And insulting my mom. And she turned around and lose her temper and thumped them down. Because she's a Jamaican woman who, even though my mom's from St. Anne, she actually grew up in Kingston because she went to school in Kingston. My mom was educated in Kingston, so obviously she spent most of her childhood growing up in Kingston. So my mom can defend herself. She wasn't some like idiot girl, you know what I mean? She was a woman, a typical Jamaican woman who could defend herself, you know what I mean? And she was very dignified and sophisticated, my mom, and very intelligent and very feminine. But if she loses her temper, she's thumping you down like a man. You know what I mean? That's my mom, because she grew up in Kingston, Jamaica. So basically, yeah, basically, my mom is a lovely person. My real mom, she's a lovely person. They've turned it, they've turned it, made her bitter and resentful and angry, my mom, and they've kind of contorted her real personality. But she's a very loving, caring, beautiful person, and she's very protective of. She used to be very protective of her children and loving. Her children just meant the world to her. But apparently, the last one, which was Stephanie, she just rejected that one. She just didn't want that one. I'm sorry, but she just didn't want that one. But it doesn't mean she was a horrible mom. She didn't believe in abortion, so she went through with the pregnancy for the last one, which was Stephanie, and then she handed her over for 3 months. When she was 3 months, my mom told me the reason why she waited for 3 months, she kept the baby for 3 months, is because them days they believed in breastfeeding. So she breastfed the baby for 3 months to give the baby the best start in life. Then she handed Stephanie over to the authorities, who adopted her out to a white family. But she already made her mind before she had Stephanie, before she gave birth to Stephanie, while she was pregnant, she'd already made her mind she's not keeping that baby. But in those days, women, black women didn't believe in abortion. Because I used to go out with this guy called Andre Lee, and he told me his mom was the same. She was unmarried. She had about 10 children to different men, unmarried. But he told me the reason why she had so many children, she was a go-go dancer as well back in those days. But Andre told me the reason why his mum had so many children, his mum's called Barbara Lee, she's from Tottenham, is because they didn't believe in abortion. The black women didn't believe in abortion. So that's why they had so many children, because they would just never have an abortion. It was just out of the question. So when you get pregnant, you just have the baby and done the argument. You understand? So basically, yeah, that was my mum's situation as well. They just didn't believe in abortions, it's just never. And I don't believe in abortion. But the thing is, that's the reason why the police are trying to kill me, because they want me dead, to revenge all the people they believe caused Renia's death, my white stepmother. And basically, the police feel say I am the main reason why they alleging all these black community came up against my white stepmother because they knew the truth. Everybody knows the truth. White, black, Indian, Chinese, mixed race. Everybody know the truth that my white stepmother is a wicked bitch. But the white police officers are blaming, they're saying, I am the reason why people came up against my white stepmother, which led to her death. So even though the white police officers know I did not instigate her death, I did not incite her death, I did not cause her death, I did not instruct her death, I did not discuss anything with nobody. All these people that were allegedly involved, I did not know any of them at all at the time. So basically they're saying, but it was because of you they did it. They did it because of you. So because of you, you have to. She's dead. So they want me dead because they're trying to fight it, and that's what they've been doing over these decades, trying to fight an argument and say, well, the white woman, my white stepmother, didn't deserve to die, but she did. I personally believe death is too easy. I personally believe that's why death, to killing my white stepmother, it never came to my mind, because I believe death is too easy. I believe my white stepmother should have been put in prison, the ultimate humiliation. After the civil claim that I brought in court against her, that if it had got chance to continue that claim and make findings against her in a civil court, then what I would have done to take the findings and force the police to prosecute her on criminal charges resulting from the civil claim, and set up a trial in the criminal courts where ultimately she would have definitely been convicted, and then she would have been put in prison, and had a criminal record, which would have been the ultimate humiliation and degradation in prison. Put her in prison. So that's what I wanted, you see. So I'm in like a catch-22, because I said, okay, I realize obviously whatever's gone on, these people have done it for me. But I didn't want that. They were misdirected. There's obviously some ultimate higher forces and higher powers that used CIA intelligence to kill her. Because I reckon people at the top, like Tony Blair, wanted her dead so that she doesn't talk. That's what I believe is the ultimate reason, and that the black community and the Muslim community were misdirected and misled deliberately to initiate her death, so that really Tony Blair wanted her dead because he didn't want her to talk. These powers that be at the top, a lot of them wanted her dead. They didn't want her to talk. That was the ultimate thing behind it. But I know that I'm not stupid. I wanted her to bring her claim against her in the civil courts. Then I would have got financial compensation. You understand? Because I know I would have clearly got financial compensation, because all the evidence was there. All the evidence was there. And at the time, there was many witnesses still alive, including her own mother, who would have been subpoenaed to court. Her own mother, Maria, my step-grandmother, would have gladly come to court and stood in the witness box and just told the truth. Because she's at that generation where she would have told the truth, because she used to cry, my step-grandmother, at the abuse I suffered from my white stepmother, which was her daughter. My white stepmother's mother, my step-grandmother, used to cry every day. She couldn't believe. She used to say to me, your mother is so fucking wicked and evil. That's what my white grandmother used to say about her own daughter. She used to say to me when I was very little, your mother is very fucking wicked and evil, bitch. So the police did. You see how they're very clever, Tony Blair and these people at the top. They knew at the time I put in that claim in the civil courts in Bradford, I had too many witnesses that would have come to court and confirmed that, yes, Michelle is telling the truth. Then the whole of the government and the NHS And the police, Metropolitan Police, would have been very embarrassed. Very embarrassed for witnesses to come forward and say, Michelle is telling the truth. So what they've done, they've dragged it out in a way that's convenient for them now. Many of these witnesses, main witnesses, are all dead now. You see? And they've dragged it out. Now they're turning around and say, oh, she's a fucking liar. That black bitch is a liar. How the fuck can you call me a liar when I put the matter in court, my friend? I put the matter in court where witnesses, the evidence, the reports, all the reports from social services, everything was there. Witnesses come forward. Even her own mother was willing to come forward. So this is the situation, you see. And then they said, oh, I must come to Jesus because I caused her death and I caused this in the first place as a child. I didn't cause fuck all. And I've got this big, fat, ugly Asian Hindu fucking pile of shit in Paddington Station going along with the fucking CIA and those in power like Michael Howard and all these people against me. This big fucking fat ugly Asian Hindu woman there in Paddington Station, queen of shit, because she's got money and she's scared of the powers that be, so she's cooperating and she's hiding out in Paddington Station and they're protecting her there. She's under the protection of the government, British government, and the police and the CIA. She's protected right there. They're following her. They've got undercover following her and watching her because she's cooperating. She's like Ari against those who helped to eliminate or sabotage my white stepmother. She's cooperating with the authorities and the police and the CIA. She's like Ari. A fucking Ari, that's what I call her. And she's sitting there all proud. Hey, look at me. Do you know who I am? Because she's all cocky sure and full of shit. And she is going up against many people and exposing many people and working with the CIA, Michael Howard, the authorities, the police, the government to conspire against the black, well, the black and Arab, the black and Muslim community. You know what I mean? And that's what she's doing there. So I cussed her off the other day because I told her, I don't know who the fuck you are, but I can clearly see what's going on, you dirty bitch. You sit there like a big fat fucking hen, laying your fucking egg full of shit, enforcing this narrative, this agenda, this mission, regardless of the impact on everybody else. I don't want to be part of it because remember, I just wanted my right to get housed in private rented accommodation because I didn't want social accommodation. So I wasn't fighting for nothing, because unless the government are going to turn around and apologize and accept direct and institutional racism against me from the 1970s and my mother, my real mother, and my sister Yvonne and my children and my father, God rest his soul in peace, and my father especially, then I don't want their compensation. I don't want to be involved in the conspiracy where they're turning around and trying to turn it on the black community, the P. Diddy, all these people. You know what I mean? Oprah Winfrey. What about, they're talking shit. That dirty Steven Spielberg is a nasty piece of fucking Jewish work. And Margaret fucking Hodge and Tony Blair. But anyway, I'm not even going to go deep into that right now. Yeah, they're all lying. You see, and they kill out all the evidence, get rid of all the real evidence, kill out all the witnesses, then they start to proceed with their fucking agenda. How can you fucking do that? How does that make any sense? So they're literally making it up, as they go along. And so they're trying to kill me. The NHS have been refusing me. Fucking hell. Come on. it's like they're leaving me out on telling everybody they've turned Huey Rose against me. Because Huey Rose is not a bad fucking person. He's actually a very good, compassionate, loving, caring guy. He's so fucking caring and loving, that guy, deep down inside. And they've turned him into a cold, callous, hard, cold-blooded murderer who killed Shekinah. Remember, in all of this shit, 6 black women, millions of black people have been dead and murdered. But more poignant is Shekinah Shenadu was murdered in this, a London-based lawyer who was born and grew up in London, and she was qualified as a lawyer. She was murdered this year in April. And this is really what's behind it. This dirty white bitch, my white stepmother, a dirty lying nasty bitch. And it wasn't just Shekinah that died, it was 6 black women. The other women were born based in America. And all 6 black women, including Shekinah, repatriated to the Gambia and became good friends, close friends, and formed an alliance and an association, a group called Wakanda Forever. And they were all murdered horrifically between 2023 and 2024. The last one being Shekinah. And the direct link to me and the government are trying to kill out the truth. That's why they're killing people. Because these people say, oh, when they might kill people, they say they're so racist. It's because they want to kill the truth. Don't you understand? The more they're trying to suppress the truth and kill the truth and kill anyone who speak up and speak the truth, and that's why. Because when they kill the truth and get rid of the truth, remember, years and years later, in the decades to come, all this information that we're talking on the internet and everywhere will be deleted. They've got a lot of AI, modern technology that then in years to come, generations to come, in future generations to come, all this information, most of it will be deleted and erased from the whole entire system. Don't think they haven't got AI technology. I reckon they've got technology that will delete it so that the future generations will not be able to find all this information. You understand? And all the information will be, by then, in the future, will be distorted, very limited, very restricted. So it's going to be difficult for the future generations to have the level of information, knowledge, evidence, facts that we have right now about all these situations that are going on. Remember, in the future, they're going to delete it all. They're going to get rid of it all. And they're killing out everybody. And rare, Because when they kill people, what happens to the knowledge that those people had, the facts, the evidence that they had? What happens to their writings, their laptop, their computers, their videos? Have you noticed slowly they just disappear? They slowly start to disappear off the internet. And yeah, so a whole heap of shit. A whole heap of shit. And you know who I believe was ultimately responsible for my sister's, my white stepmother's death? I think it's my sister Yvonne, because Yvonne worked in the same hospital. Yvonne worked there since she was a teenager in St. James's Hospital. And in January 1999, John Sellers, a solicitor called John Sellers, he's retired now, in Sutton, a very evil, racist man. He turned around and said to me, he said to the woman about me in the courthouse, he said, how's she been? And the woman said, a white woman, it was, a jailer in the court. She said, she's been so quiet. She's never any trouble at all. She's just so quiet. She doesn't say a word. Now the woman was talking about me. So John Sellers turned around and said to her, the quiet ones are the worst. So my sister Yvonne is a Gemini, very quiet. Doesn't say a fucking word. And she was working in the hospital all the time, St. James's Hospital. When my stepmother dead during the operation. And remember, who did my stepmom used to beat up the worst? It was Yvonne. She used to punch her in the face, use her as a punch bag. She used to insult her, break down her confidence, ill-treat her, use her as a slave. And ultimately, who was the fucking one behind the fucking death? And people say, well, why are you saying that on the internet? Because they already know. Because Yvonne, apparently, since my stepmother died, passed away in 2009, Yvonne has been hounded by the NHS hospital and lost her job. And she was hounded to the point where she nearly committed suicide herself. And they turned her son against her and all kinds of shit. So I think Yvonne started to cooperate with them because she backed down. She couldn't handle it anymore. And then Yvonne left and she went to Royal Infirmary to work there, and they hounded her from there and hounded her out of work. And then after, my sister's like 55 years old now. She's worked for the NHS hospital, St. James's University Hospital, since she was about 18, 19 years old. And do you know she's on job seekers allowance? She's sick physically. They won't give her disability benefit. They've just give her job seekers allowance. She has to go look for other work. And she's been refused a pension. After working 50 years in the NHS hospital, she's been refused a pension. She was a private secretary working with disabled children. And she had to learn all the medical terms and the medical this and the medical that. So her job was very significant in terms of the treatment and the healthcare of very disabled children. And she's on job seekers allowance. They refused her a pension. She's not getting a pension, they've told her. Why do you think they've done that? Because it was the quiet one. The one that Renia used to bash about and beat up, and Yvonne was monitoring everything. You see, Geminis are very quiet. And ultimately, you know, my stepmom was a Gemini, but ultimately she fucked. I remember her punching Yvonne in the face like a punch back for no reason. Yvonne was very quiet, well-behaved child. Yvonne she's always been quiet all her life from she born. I really just used to punch her up for no reason. Punch her up from a very young child, an infant. Mush, all her face, nose used to be blooded. Insult her and laugh at her and mock her in front of her white friends, my stepmom's white friends, and they always used to laugh at Yvonne. And I used to look at my stepmom through the corner of my eye, hating her, you know. And ultimately, it was Yvonne. It was Yvonne working in the hospital. It was my sister, the quiet one. You know, that was ultimately the end of Renia. And I'm so glad that Yvonne actually plucked up some fucking balls after, you know, a fucking lifetime. I'm so fucking glad to hear that Yvonne actually plucked up some fucking balls and did something about it. You know what I mean? So what they're frightened of is black people taking back our power and getting revenge back for all the shit that we've been through. They don't want to take no consequences because they're frightened. But they can't stop it. Because Minister Farrakhan says it's going to happen anyway. Ultimately, because it is God. And God is the ultimate power. You know, and Allah is a God of justice. At the end of the day. So, you know, that big fat fucking Hindu fucking hen sitting down in Paddington Station, fuck you. your bullshit narrative that the CIA are forcing down everybody's throat, you are cooperating because you're a coward. Your money doesn't mean nothing. Because you can stand up against poor people like me, but you cannot stand up against the CIA, the FBI, the military armed forces, the MI5 and the MI6. You're a pussyhole. You cannot stand up to those in power. Because your country was bought a long time ago. All your religions have been bought. The Hindu religion is full of fucking white people that have taken it over. Like a gimmick. And at the end of the day, power, money, what I've learned, money doesn't mean anything when it comes to these races and the power that they have. Because money doesn't mean anything. So you're sitting there with your like a big fat Hindu hen. Your money doesn't mean nothing because you are controlled, manipulated, and forced into cooperating and doing what the CIA want you to do. So your money ultimately has no significance at the end of the day. However rich you are, it actually means nothing. Because if you're black and you're Asian and you're rich and you still don't have control over your own life, then your money obviously doesn't say nothing. So many black and Asian people have money and they face injustice and the money can't save them. But P. Diddy, that's why I said it's not a matter of money. Look at P. Diddy and R. Kelly and Bill Cosby and so Michael Jackson. Look at Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson was the richest black man on earth and the money couldn't save him. Michael Jackson was the richest black man in history. I think Michael Jackson equivalently was richer than Musa Mansa. You know what I mean? In Musa Mansa's day. I think if you really total the value of money today, Michael Jackson was actually richer than Musa Mansa. You know what I mean? And more famous than Musa Mansa. And the money couldn't save him because we're black. You're Asian. You're Asian and we're black. Black and Asian, doesn't matter how much wealth we have. So you push your big stinking ugly face in Paddington Station. Do you know who I am? You're nothing. You're nothing. You're nothing. Money means nothing when it comes to institutional racist power structure. It means nothing. They took down Michael Jackson, the richest black man on the fucking planet Earth, and his money could not save him. And I'm sure Michael Jackson had more money than you dirty Hindu bitch. I sure Michael Jackson had more money than you, Hindu bitch. I sure Michael Jackson had more money, more wealth, more fame than you, Hindu bitch, sitting down in Paddington Station. And the money couldn't save him because we're up against racism. We're up against a power structure, an empire built off the backs of slavery, exploitation, trafficking, prostitution, pedophilia. All these white people, that's theft, murder, rape. That's what the system is built of. It's a system, an empire. You see. And they stick together, but we all separate and do, I've got different fucking sections and rare. That's why they're easy to manipulate us. Michael Jackson was the most richest black man in the history as far as I'm concerned. And the money couldn't save him. So Hindu bitch, don't think your money means shit. You are a slave to the system. That's why you're sitting down there cooperating with the white man's conspiracy against your fucking people. You're selling out your people to save your fucking ass because you're scared Because you know they can fucking kill you anytime they fucking want, and your money can't save your shit. Your money can't save your shit. You see. So at the end of the day, here I am fighting on. I don't care who wants to think whatever you want to think about me. I am Don Butler. Don Butler, yeah, I've never been racist. You might be fucking racist. You might have problems with certain people. I didn't have none. I've been up against this. I was born. I know it's a fact. Black people are not born with any prejudice at all. No black person's born with prejudice. We are the most easygoing, loving, accepting people on the planet Earth. Black people. But what I have been through, Don Butler, you don't fucking know. So before you open your stinking mouth, no disrespect, my sister, before you open your stinking mouth and you're talking about, oh, everybody's got a bit racism, you got, I didn't have no fucking racism. You whole fucking racist, the system were racist against me. I didn't do fuck all. So you don't know what I've been through. So before you open your stinking mouth, you need to fucking know what I've been through before you turn around and say, oh, well, she's a bit racist. I'm a bit racist. Do you know what I've fucking been through? You haven't even got a clue.